Stablecoins are one of crypto's biggest promises right now, but many is still tied to banks, fiat, or centralized control. Today's guest is building a different kind of stablecoin. Eneko Knorr is the founder of Stabolut, the company behind USB, a USD-pegged stablecoin that's fully crypto-backed and doesn't rely on banks. It's designed to be more resilient, censorship resistant, and more aligned with the values of Web3. Eneko, welcome to Token for Your Thoughts.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful. All right. So before we get into Stabolut and USB, let's hear a bit about your background. You have founded and invested in multiple startups. What first sparked your interest in crypto and stablecoins specifically?
So look, I've been an entrepreneur for more than 25 years, so always looking for the next trend. So I was in the beginning of the internet in Spain when I started out one of the first web hosting companies in Spain. Then I started building mobile games in Silicon Valley, where I was based for 5 years. So in catching this trend of mobile gaming, when nobody was building games, and it was when I was based in Silicon Valley when I discovered crypto. So I went in 2011, I went to a Bitcoin meetup. So with a friend of mine, with a bunch of like I don't know, probably 20 people in that Bitcoin meetup, and what I saw there, it blew my mind. I was totally surprised that because I didn't know anything about. I haven't even heard about Bitcoin until my friend told me to come to that meetup. So it was there in Silicon Valley when I discovered that, and I followed it, and I started studying more and more about crypto since then. Yes, and then it was after I came back to Spain from Silicon Valley when I started my first crypto company, which is Onis, one of the main crypto custodians in Spain. And I that was 6 years ago, and for the last 2 years I've been building Stabolut.
All right. Amazing. Entrepreneur for 25 years. So what was it like transitioning into crypto from your other businesses?
So look, it was a no-brainer because I saw clearly the trend. So I think that sometimes I feel like I started in crypto because for me it was a deja vu from my past in the beginning of the internet in Spain, when everybody was telling me, what are you doing on the internet? Nobody's going to use the internet. Internet is only for criminals. And now when I'm in crypto, it's the same, right? Nobody's going to use crypto. Crypto is only for criminals, and so that's why sometimes I think that I'm in the right place. Is with so many people criticizing a new technology, but it's going to be a big trend in the future. And I started a long time ago as an investor in crypto, but as an entrepreneur in crypto too a long time ago. And now, maybe 6 years ago or 10 years ago, no, but not now. I think it's more clear that crypto is the future and it's going to capture a big part of the financial industry.
That's a really interesting comparison about the internet, how people were saying the similar things, like it's only for criminals. And that's a great perspective for you to have as well, of like, well, I know I'm in the right place, because I guess, that could probably be hard for a lot of people when you believe in something and you're going for it, and there is this wide skepticism and
Exactly.
people dismissing it or getting it wrong. How else do you think your background in tech and investing shaped how you're approaching Stabolut today?
So look, my approach. So I've been an entrepreneur and I've been also an investor. After I sold my web hosting company to Telefonica in Spain, I started angel investing in angel investing. I've invested in 30 plus companies, and as an entrepreneur, as an investor, I try to take the advantage of trying to learn what's next in tech. and when you see the trend, it's easier to take advantage of the next big thing in tech, and that's why for me getting into crypto was so important, because for me it was the internet, and then the mobile phone, and then crypto and blockchain as the next big thing in technology. So for me it was my bet since the very beginning, and I think that now it's even more clear that we are in the right track, the right trend.
Yeah, absolutely. So many stablecoins today are backed by fiat and they're relying on banking infrastructure. What made you want to take a different approach with USB?
So look, I was talking to my now co-founder, and brainstorming about what to do, and what were the opportunities in crypto, and and look, stablecoins seemed like a super big part of the crypto industry, that we wanted to do something different in the stablecoin industry, and at that time when we started brainstorming, we realized that there was a need for different stablecoins. So we had uh, the previously failed Terra,
Mm-hmm.
UST, and that was a complete disaster. But there was a need for a decentralized or a different way to build a stablecoin, and that's why we started thinking about building something different, like a crypto collateralized stablecoin. So in order to do something different, because people wanted a decentralized approach to crypto, because uh, if crypto means decentralization, and crypto means getting rid of the traditional financial system. So having a stablecoin that is backed by money in banks, so it doesn't make sense. Goes against the very principles of the decentralization, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why we wanted to build something different, and that's what the beginning of Stabolut.
All right. Yeah, that does make total sense. So how does Stabolut stay pegged to the dollar without relying on fiat or banking partners?
Exactly, it's a very good question, because USB is backed by a diversified basket of crypto assets, and the asset allocation is dynamically adjusting all the time based on funding rates. So we can talk about the funding rates later to maximize profitability. So what we do is we have all the assets, and we use derivative exchanges to peg the value in US dollars. I mean, so as our USB is backed by crypto assets that are very volatile, we use derivatives exchanges
Mm-hmm.
to peg all the time the value of those assets to have the same value, and that's why the USB is pegged to the US dollar, using this derivative these delta neutral strategies at derivative exchanges.
Okay, nice. And were there any other gaps or limitations that you saw in the current stablecoin market that inspired the creation of USB?
So look, so two things. One, we found a way to build a stablecoin back that didn't rely on the traditional banks and the traditional financial system, but also that we found a way to offer a yield to our users, and that's why it became even more interesting, our model, because we had a more decentralized stablecoin, but also as the operations that we do with our collateral we get profit from it, so we can
Mm-hmm.
pass a yield to the user. So that's the beginning of this new trend in the stablecoin industry, which is the yield bearing stablecoin.
Mm-hmm.
So when people hold our stablecoin, they also get automatically a yield. So that's a big advantage
Mm-hmm.
comparing to the traditional USD, I mean Tether, USDT, or USDC.
Nice. Yeah, it's a nice incentive. Right. So you guys are doing a lot with USB. There's a debit card, there's a money transfer platform. Like you said, you can earn a yield. Can you walk us through the full ecosystem that you guys are building around Stabolut?
Yeah, exactly. So we saw also the opportunity to have to build on top of our or USB on top of our stablecoin to build a complete money transfer ecosystem. So we think that we saw the opportunity of building wallets. So we have wallets for iOS and Android so that people can send and receive our stablecoin, and people can send. The good thing about this technology is that people can send like the equivalent of 100 million from Canada to Japan in 3 seconds and for virtually no cost, which with a it's a very small cost. So
Hmm.
so we build this platform so that people could have their own bank in their hands. So and this is a huge opportunity also because in the world there are billions of people that don't have banks. This banked or like unbanked or underbanked people
Hmm.
that have no access to the traditional financial system, and they could have a wallet to receive stable coins to have to get rid of their local currency, because this is one of the main advantages of crypto, that people that live in countries where their local currency is a disaster, they can hold a stable coin, they can hold Bitcoin, so that they don't see their savings disappear because
Hmm.
because they have local currencies that are a disaster.
Yeah, it's definitely super impactful for people that are affected by not having access to traditional financial products. So, can you talk us through a bit about the debit card and how that works?
Yeah, exactly. So if we want to offer people some kind of an alternative to banks,
Hmm.
having a debit card is a need. So we know a lot of people in the crypto industry. So because we believe in crypto, we like crypto, but we live in a fiat world where you have to pay the restaurant or the hotel or whatever
Yeah.
with your card, and that's why it's important to have in our platform and integrate debit cards so that people can spend the crypto that or the USBs that they have in our platform. So this is an interesting need, and this is a huge market. So the debit cards, a lot of companies are offering debit cards tied to some kind of crypto product, crypto wallet, crypto platform, because we that are like millions of people that are users or holders of crypto, we find it really useful to have a debit card to use our crypto freely in millions of shops and businesses worldwide.
Hmm. Yeah, it's always great to see instances of products like this where you can actually put your crypto to work, or where it has a bit of real world application to cross over the crypto ecosystem and also the real world, which you said is still predominantly fiat. So you guys emphasize transparency. What does that look like in practice?
Yeah, transparency is when you offer a stable coin and people buy your stable coin. At the end of the day, it's a financial product, and people need
Hmm.
need to trust that financial product, because actually they are putting their money in your product. So we need to offer total transparency. We need people to know that USB is backed by these crypto assets. So we are going to have all the full transparency on the real-time data of the backing. So if we say that our market cap is 1 billion, so we need to
Hmm.
show exactly that 1 billion where it comes from, so that people know that the money is there and all the backing is there. And so transparency in that sense, like having giving real-time data, having monthly audits, so that people know that this is totally backed by crypto assets, and they are safe.
Hmm. Yeah, that's awesome that you have that, and absolutely will help build trust with users. So, what kind of use cases do you see the money transfer platform unlocking?
So look, now it's becoming super popular, even in people that don't believe in crypto. So I have this friends in the traditional banking that they didn't understand crypto, or they don't understand crypto, surprisingly,
Hmm.
but they understand now more and more the importance of stable coins for cross-border transactions. So I think that when Stripe acquired the bridge by
Hmm.
1 billion, so I had people from the traditional financial industry calling me and, can you tell me what happened? Because it was surprising. Stripe acquiring a crypto company, a company that was doing transfers through stablecoins around the world from 1 billion, which is a huge acquisition. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, that acquisition, it's equivalent of when Facebook acquired Instagram. It was a huge acquisition, even criticized. But now Instagram is huge, and Facebook Meta without Instagram wouldn't be the same. So
Hmm.
for Stripe getting into this new world of the money transfer acquiring bridge, it's going to someday is going to be well known as one of the most like smartest acquisitions in the financial industry. So, and that's why I think that people are thinking about stable coins to for big money transfers in B2B,
Hmm.
like among big companies, and also in B2C, people transferring money to from one another. So there's a huge business in remittances, and because remittances traditionally and today have been a ripoff for the for poor, even for poor people, even worse. So for someone that is working hard, for instance, in Spain, to send money to the relatives in Colombia, they are paying probably 10-15% of commission to use the traditional Western Union or MoneyGram or
Yeah.
this platform. So that's not fair. That's not fair
Hmm.
when you can do it with today's technology, when you can do it much cheaper. And so that's gonna be a big use case. Remittances are going to be much way cheaper because it's people need it, and
Hmm.
also as I was saying before, so offering people, so because sometimes when we live in Europe, the US, we don't understand that there are people that are working, that they cannot receive money, they cannot send it, they are outside the financial system.
Hmm.
It for us, it's difficult to understand that in Asia or in Africa, people that cannot even open a bank account even if they want to. So
Yeah.
that this is a huge market, and it's a huge opportunity to help these unbanked people and offer them a different way to get into the financial system, and not the traditional financial system, but a way to receive and send money and hold it.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned the moment when Stripe acquired Bridge as being quite pivotal, and you had people, getting on the phone to you. I mean, how did that feel? Because you mentioned that you start out where people are saying this is all for criminals, and what are you doing? And then moments like this happen where people's ears start pricking up, and you say it can be quite a pivotal moment. So how does that feel when that happens? And how do you then react as the entrepreneur? And do you shift strategy? Does it sort of affect what you're doing?
So look, that's interesting because you know every when we are in the crypto industry, we've been for a long time, and in the beginning I was trying to evangelize, trying to teach people, trying to convince people that they should understand Bitcoin and they should hold Bitcoin. But at some point I said, look, I'm I'm not gonna spend time evangelizing and trying to convince people, because it's like I realized that people have to realize to discover Bitcoin by themselves. Is not
Hmm.
so. Sometimes I realize that people have to get different inputs, and at some point, okay, now I understand Bitcoin. Tell me more. I'm going to buy Bitcoin or something. What
Hmm.
I mean is that my friends know that I've been in Bitcoin for a long time,
Yeah.
and they don't understand it. Even people that I consider smart people, and they
Hmm.
understand technology, they understand finance, that they don't understand Bitcoin. It's surprising to me, but it happens. And and realizing that because of this huge news about Stripe acquiring Bridge 1 billion, so they start thinking and they start discovering that maybe they were wrong and they should try to understand Bitcoin because it's going to be the future. This is one of these like aha moments where people start to think about that. And it was interesting that a few months ago, and another friend, like one of these anti-crypto friends, called me too, and he told me that he wanted to know more about Bitcoin because a friend of his um, bought 1 million in Bitcoin, and for him was very shocking because it was
Wow.
someone from the traditional, very traditional in investing in the traditional finance. So
Ah,
he bought 1 million, and I was, look, my friend bought 1 million in Bitcoin, so maybe I'm missing something. I need to understand something. And it
ah.
was interesting because I asked him a question that was the following: is, so your friend that bought 1 million in Bitcoin, how much is he worth? And he told me, I don't know, but probably more than 100 million. And I said, okay, so your friend, you think that he acquired a big amount of Bitcoin, and it's nothing. So he acquired nothing. It's 1% of his net worth,
Yeah.
right? Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but how can you say that is 1 million? 1 million, 1 million is nothing, which is a lot. And I said, okay, look, everybody should have at least 1% of their net worth in Bitcoin. But this is interesting because it's one of these things that we were talking about. People that don't understand Bitcoin, having an input, having and reading something or talking to someone that at
Hmm.
least make them think that they are missing something and they should learn Bitcoin and they should try to study something because they might be missing one of the biggest opportunities in the financial world right now.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good approach. Just wait till people come to you rather than, I guess it can be a bit of an uphill struggle sometimes, just actively trying to explain or get someone interested. Okay, so are you targeting any specific users or groups right now, or even like markets or sectors?
So, look, good question. So now we don't have a specific niche. I mean, in general, when we start growing, it could be any market or any specific any user. But in the beginning, we understand that the biggest opportunities in people that understand DeFi, heavy users of stable coins, exchanges, decentralized exchanges. So people that are looking for a yield, and people that are trading and using different stable coins and diversifying among different DeFi protocols, stable coins, and so on. So in the beginning, we think that our main user is going to be a heavy user in crypto, people that understand DeFi properly and that have a big knowledge of crypto. And then over time, we believe that our biggest user base, it could be people that even don't understand crypto and they just want to have a way to send and receive easily a stable coin that probably they don't even understand that is crypto, that there is blockchain behind, because this is probably the beauty of this is we need to or maybe our goal is to offer people a product that they need, that they a product that solves a product that solves a problem, which is
Hmm.
sending, receiving, and holding money. And in that sense, so as I said, there are hundreds of billions of people that could be users of a stable coin and wallets and money transfer platform. So we believe that we're going to start with these heavy users, and over
Hmm.
time we will have more and more users even in people that don't understand crypto at this time.
Yeah, definitely. And we've mentioned a few use cases. You mentioned remittances and giving people access to financial products who are currently unbanked. Are there any surprising use cases that you've seen?
So good question. Yes, let me think. So so look, we think that we live in now in a world of remote workers, and remote workers sometimes, well, depending on where they live, they have difficulties to get paid.
Hmm.
Um, because someone could be doing a good job, mm, doing some task on the internet for a company based in Canada, and or they are in somewhere in Africa, and they are unable to open a bank account in Africa. So that could be an interesting use case of remote workers that they manage to have a customer in another country in the world, and they
Hmm.
cannot even get paid. So that could be an interesting use case.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially post COVID now, where remote work just exploded and people are all over the place. So I think that would definitely be a great one. What have you found have been some of the biggest challenges in launching a stablecoin?
So look, technology is difficult, but I mean, we have a good team. My co-founder has been a tech entrepreneur for 20 years, and he understands everything that we need. And that the biggest challenge is funding. When you are launching a very ambitious project that is going to be worldwide, so you need to raise a big round, and in the startup world, it's always challenging. And but it's even more important to once you launch the product to promote it and to get out there and to make everybody in the world know that you are there and you are offering this product. So for a startup, you can have the best product in the world, and it's very difficult to make people to attract your customers and to
Hmm.
make people know that you are there. So that's a common mistake among entrepreneurs, that sometimes entrepreneurs think that if they have the best product, that people are going to come by themselves to use the product, and that's not going to
Yeah.
happen. And that's why
Hmm.
the biggest challenge for every company in the world is marketing and get out there and make a name.
Hmm. Yeah, you always hear that old build it and they will come, but it's not always true. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's interesting to hear your perspective on that, especially as you've started and invested in so many businesses. So there's a lot of debate around the trade-off between decentralization and stability in stable coins. Where do you think the industry is headed on that?
So look, in general in the crypto industry, not only stable coins. So it feels like it's super important, the decentralization, and everybody's looking for the decentralization. But at the end of the day, maybe it's a bit sad to learn that people don't care that much about decentralization, and people care about a product that works and a
Mhm.
product they can use and a product they can build on, right? So when we had only, for instance, when we had only Ethereum decentralization, nobody controls it, tons of different nodes, and then suddenly BNB, the Binance chain, became very popular, and people were complaining that it's not decentralized. It's managed by Binance, like a few nodes, but it was very popular, and
Mhm.
and people were looking for decentralization is why is people why are people using BNB chain when it's not decentralized, and it was very successful. And the same with Solana. Solana is not so decentralized and it doesn't work well, and but people are using Solana. Solana has been very popular, of course, like a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's back again, and Solana
Yeah.
Solana is very popular. So
Hmm.
it feels like we all like the idea of decentralization, but at the end of the day, when looking at different projects, maybe our users don't care that much. So
Hmm.
decentralized exchanges, so it's very nice, the idea for decentralized exchanges, but mm, centralized exchanges, today are easier to use or easier to onboard. New users understand better centralized exchanges than
Hmm.
decentralized exchanges, about like opening this complicated wallet and with the words, and people don't understand that. So that's
Hmm.
why this will come over time, that all crypto products we all need to learn how to make everything the UX
Hmm.
easier, or make people understand everything uh, much faster, and build products that people want to use and people like, and people and are easy to onboard and to use. And so in that sense, we may go more and more to the decentralization, because that should be the trend. But today,
Hmm.
sometimes we believe that users don't care that much, and users care about uh, products that are easy to use, and people want to make money,
Hmm.
in crypto.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely important to get all of the components right. Usability is obviously a huge one. So stablecoins, they're really being positioned as the backbone of crypto adoption right now. What do you think are the most important things that we need to get right?
So it's interesting, because now more and more people say that that stable coins are the biggest use case of crypto by far,
Hmm.
and I think that it's true, that it's only the beginning. So now the stablecoin market cap is worth 230 billion, and is expected, or is predicted to grow
Hmm.
up to 2.8 trillion in 5 years. That was this Bernstein report. I think that the opportunity could be even bigger, because we see this clear trend of people building a lot of products on top of stablecoins to the for any money transfer, remittances. So it's going to be huge. So in that sense, stablecoins are becoming so popular, even as we said previously, also in people in the traditional finance that are starting to see this trend of stablecoins. Then this is becoming really, really huge, the stablecoin industry, and
Hmm.
we are glad to be here. And inside the stablecoin industry, it's interesting that um, this small part of the stablecoin market, which is the yield-bearing stablecoins, where we are with Stabolut and USB. So recently, JPMorgan said that yield-bearing stablecoins could grow from 6% of the stablecoin market to 50% of the
Wow.
stablecoin market, which is very interesting, because of course, being stable in this yield-bearing small part of the stablecoin market, the yield-bearing stablecoins, the JP Morgan saying that it could grow to 50% of the total market. So it's an interesting trend,
Yeah.
and we believe that that could happen. Yes.
Yeah, that is incredible. Some incredible stats there. A huge area of opportunity. So, do you have any goals you're working towards, in the next year or two to really capitalize on these trends?
Yeah, so that's the idea. Look, as an entrepreneur, as usual, you have to have a good product, but in order to succeed, you also have to be in a growing market. So
Hmm.
because if you are in a market that stablecoin market is expected to grow, as I said, from 20 to 230 billion to almost 3 trillion, and then the yield-bearing stablecoins growing also to capture like 50% of this stablecoin market, so that's huge.
Yeah.
So our idea is we will launch our product in the next few weeks, um, with the partnership we have with one of our investors, with Text Tools, that they give us access to more than 20 million users. So our idea is to launch it, to run a successful launch, to capture one small in the beginning, a small percentage of this market, and then grow over time. So for us, it's a very exciting moment, because we have the product, we are in the right moment, the right place, in a growing market, which is going to explode in the next years.
Yeah, that is hugely exciting. What an incredible space to be in right now. It's excellent timing. And so how can people get involved? Do you have any call to actions for your target users, whether it's building with USB, integrating it into their products, signing up for the debit card?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, for everyone that wants to join us, so they have our website,
Mhm.
Stabolut, and they can follow us and they can watch when we launch it and to take advantage of a stablecoin that gives them actual yield. And after we launch our stablecoin, we will have also our token, our native token, and people that start using our product since the very beginning, they will have also an airdrop for our token. So for anyone interested in learning about new projects in crypto, in DeFi, specifically in the stablecoin industry that we are, so they just have to follow us, and the moment that we have the wallet and the stablecoin and everything ready, so it could be a good moment for people to to have them on board. And as usual, any feedback it's very very appreciated from everyone that will be using it. So, as I said, it's still a few weeks away from the launch, but very exciting because we have everything in place to run a successful launch and take this wave of the stablecoin industry.
Amazing. All right. Well, we'll be sure to look out for that. Is there a question that you wished more people would ask about stable coins or decentralization in general?
So yeah, that's a difficult one. Yes. So yeah, why? So why? It I mean, I'm laughing because the answer is obvious that it benefits our product. Is so why would people use a stablecoin that gives no yield, right? And when you
Yeah.
can use stablecoins that give yield. So I
Hmm.
think that's going to be a question in the next months, and that's why this study of JPMorgan is so good for the yield bearing stablecoin industry, because so it's like you can put money in this bank account, a deposit at 0% or a deposit at 4% or 10%. Which one would you choose? So I think
Hmm.
that that's gonna be an interesting trend to watch in the upcoming months.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And is there anything else that we didn't cover that you would like to speak to? Anything about Stabolut in particular, or the market in general and the role of stable coins in the future of finance?
So look, we really believe that we are here in crypto because we understand that it's going to be huge. And so look, you know that there are people in crypto that believe that crypto have to destroy the banks, and Bitcoin will be there and the banks will disappear and the traditional financial system will disappear. So that's not going to happen in my opinion. But
Hmm.
crypto is there for for people to have an option to escape from the traditional financial system.
Hmm.
Because as I said also, so this is not only about offering different products. So for there are people was invented uh, for to offer an alternative to people that could only use their local currency. So Bitcoin in that sense has always been freedom for millions of people around the world. So in um, so it interestingly, yeah, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was invented for different countries. I mean, as I said, for people that wanted to escape from the local currencies to invest in Bitcoin so that they could escape. But interestingly, people, instead of using Bitcoin, as has been so volatile, people have been using stablecoins, and that has been a very interesting trend. And it's not surprising that the countries where the biggest penetration of usage of crypto are the countries where their financial system is the worst. So, or countries where the inflation has been huge and has been a disaster. So, Venezuela, Argentina, Turkey, like Nigeria. So it's not surprising that people wanted to escape and use crypto. And stablecoins are now the tool that those millions or billions of people have to escape from their traditional local currency, where people have lost all their savings in their local currencies and they want to escape.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. It must feel really great to have a product that is being used by so many people globally as a solution for economic instability or situations out there where they need a solution. So this has been so wonderful talking to you and hearing all about Stabolut and what you're doing, what you're building. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's always nice to hear how new models are challenging the status quo and doing something different, especially when it comes to something so foundational as stablecoins.
Thank you, thank you. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a really great conversation. So if our listeners want to hear more about Stabolut, I will share all the links to the website and socials in the show notes. That's it for today's episode of Token for Your Thoughts. Be sure to follow and subscribe for more conversations with people building the future of crypto and Web3. We'll see you on the next episode.